Heater core and evaporator assembly back in the heater box and put it in the 67 Falcon. The fight will be to get that box back in the Falcon. There just isn't a lot of room under that instrument panel to sneak that box up where it belongs. Welcome back to Dan's Messy Garage. This is the 5th installment of this heater box. I finally got the mystery solved on the 3-tube heater core. That was in the 4th part of this series. I have the evaporator cleaned out. The box itself is cleaned out. And I need to assemble it and then fight to get it back in the car. I'm going to rearrange this so I have some working room here. I think the first thing that's got to go in the box is the evaporator. And this is held in by 4 screws here coming from the box into it. It sits on a ledge inside this big heater box. So I got 4 screws holding that. All right, now there is a divider, something like that. This slides down here. Really can't position this right now because that's sandwiched under this. So I'll just have to fight with those screw locations when that time comes. When it goes in next is the heater core. That's going to sit in there just like that. Wrap some foam around it. See if that makes it better. Yeah, that will. I think I'll set this cover on there just for a placement check. These heater core tubes have to come through this plate. And this plate's going to have to go down on that box. And I have to seal this. I'm just going to ooze a bunch of the right stuff sealant in there. Alright, so the heater core stays right where it is. Try to get this off without moving it. I'm going to want to seal that. See, the way this whole box works. This metal part on the lid is covering a lot of the surface area of this evaporator. The blower motor here pulling air from either inside the car or outside from the cowl area. And it's blowing it through the evaporator into this compartment. And in this compartment there is a flapper door here that's either going to send the air up through frost area or into the ducting on the car. There's also a flapper underneath the heater core hooked to a vacuum valve up here. And what this does, just gotta look in there. I'll move the flapper door, and you can see it comes up and shuts the heater core off. So the air goes through the evaporator, hits that flapper door, gets deflected around the heater core and out. I'm going to add a bunch of sealant on the sides of this heater core here to kind of help glue it in position and to seal off the gap. Put some back here too. All right, I set that lid on there to let that sit overnight so that right stuff hardens up and holds the heater core where it needs to be. I put a couple screws in here just to hold it. But I'll be back in a flash, and it'll be tomorrow. The next day, I'm going to take the screws out that I put in to hold this together. Heater core feels solid in there. It should be just fine. Lift this off. I need to put a bead of silicone along at least the bottom half of this box, because I don't want any water from the evaporator dripping in the car. It's supposed to run out outside through the firewall. Okay, that's in there good. Looks like I have all my areas sealed off good. And before I put this lid on, there's a wire I need to connect. It goes from the blower resistor to the blower motor here. I like using the right stuff. It seems to be the right stuff for the job that you're doing. Comes with an applicator. I rarely use those. I just squeeze it out of the tube. Punch that hole. Looks good. I'm just going to run a little bead around here. Add a little bit in this area. This is the critical part where the water will be collecting to go out that tube. There, that'll make it really difficult to take apart. Perfect. All right, plug that wire in and bolt this together. Wires plugged in. Drop this down. I'm going to try not to move it everywhere. Cover this back up and start screwing her together. Screws are tight. These are the 4 mounting studs that hold it to the firewall. I think what I'm going to do is run a bunch of bright stuff around heater core tubes and around those. Let it sit up for a while. And then the fight's going to be to get this beauty back in the car. I'm going to walk away for about an hour, hour and a half. Let this cure so I can put it in the car. Preparation of getting that massive heater box in there, I peeled back the carpet. I still got all the sound insulation, and underneath that the sound deadener. All that extra thickness takes away room. Getting that carpet and that insulating pad out of the way should help. I'm going to attempt to set it up in there like this and then rotate it in position. Oh my God. Oh. Yeah. Wow. You gotta be kidding me. It's not in yet, but it went up in there easier than I remember doing it before. Stay. See if I can go on the other side and get a couple of those nuts on. Yep, all 4 of them came through. I got the nuts snugged up. Now I got to make sure there's nothing in the way before I tighten it. Yeah, I think I can tighten it up now. As in, I got a lot of hooking up to do. All right, I got those nuts kind of tightened down on the firewall in there. I need to put the heater hoses on there now. I have this Y-shaped piece. It's got to go back on the heater core on the 2 outside ones. And then the other heater hose is going to go to the center tube. And drop the radiator in now. I still have a fan shroud to do, but that's going to be a different project. In fact, that's going to have its own video. All right, I got the radiator hooked up underneath. Just going to put this upper hose on now. Dump the coolant back in there. The moment of truth is coming up, folks. I'm going to start the car, and then I'm going to have to let it warm up, look for leaks, and then see if I actually have heat. Look around for leaks. Yep, of course I have a leak. Got a hose clamp back there that needs to be tightened. There's a clamp that goes to the Y on the heater hoses. Not warm enough yet to produce heat. Have to let it warm up. Moment of truth. See, I'm going to put the heat on. Put it all the way to warm. Turn the fan on. And I wait for a few seconds to see. Yes, yes. I have some heat. Because the car is fairly warmed up now. Right here. It's almost warmed up. But I do have heat. Been looking around under the hood here. I don't have any leaks. Things are working. So the next project is going to be that fan shroud. That'll be on its own separate video. It works. I got some heat. I think the problem all along was twofold. The inside of this was clogged, and these fins just wouldn't let air through, and they were filthy. So I put it in the ultrasonic cleaner, cleaned these fins out, and I ran vinegar inside here in the ultrasonic cleaner, and it cleaned out a bunch of crap from the inside. So the car is fixed. On to the next challenge. But I thank you for watching Dan's Messy Garage, and I hope you enjoyed this series on the heater core and a 67 Falcon. Stay tuned to my channel for more videos. Bye.